Hello and welcome to the second lesson of the Jazz Guitar University single note soloing series. Today we're going to continue talking about soloing over the major chord family, and we're under group 1. Basically this group does not have an 11th in any of the chords, so that's something we've established. So this has got major 7th, 9th, 13th chords, add 9 chords, 6 9 chords. But anything without an 11th, and we're going to take that's going to be in group 2. So we are now a little bit further up the neck, just about a fret or two for the next region. We're going to have 7 regions in all, so this is region 2. So you're going to have 7 videos in soloing over major chords, just so you can just be very thorough. Let's go through the first 4 chords that you want to get down that are going to help you memorize these arpeggio shapes. We have the E major 7th. By the way, be following along with the PDF download for this lesson that you can get at guitarlessons365.com in the lessons archive in the Jazz Guitar University section. All right, so we have this E major 7th chord, then an E major 6th chord, E major 9, and E major 6 9. It's a really nice chord. Okay, so let's get into the arpeggio shapes. Now, I want to make sure that when you're doing these arpeggios, when you're following along with a chart, the numbers in the black dots are telling you what scale degree each one of these notes is. So if we have a major 7th arpeggio, it's a 1 3 5 7. So all the dots will be one of those, and you really need to know where those are. And you'll see that everything starts overlapping when we start doing all these arpeggio shapes. The idea is not to always memorize and just be constantly trying to memorize these different arpeggios, it's really just to get down where the chord tones lay in that area of the neck. So after going through all these arpeggio shapes and analyzing and trying to get down where every single scale degree is, then I think you'll really start grasping how to formulate all of the chord tones in that area. And then you add the scales to it, and then you can just create your own improvisations better and better the more you practice. So let's do the major 7th arpeggio first. I'm going to start on the E. Simple enough. And then we created a run, just like we did in the region 1, of just using chord tones from that major 7th arpeggio. Try to give it a little bit of a jazzy feel, and play those over the backing track that's on the site with this lesson, just of E major chords over and over again, in kind of a jazzy feel, and then you can start making up your own little combinations of those chord tones. The major 6 arpeggio is next, so start on the E. And then we continue with a little phrase. Alrighty. Now let's get to the major add 9, which is a 1 3 5 9. So those chord tones would be and then a little run. Got some rolls in there, but we got to practice those for jazz. Major 9th is a 1 3 5 7 9, and that's the next arpeggio shape. And all of those notes. And then a little run with it. Let me do that again. Might have thrown in a little sharp 11 in there, so don't be fooled by that one. The actual thing that's probably on your chart is going to be something like this. Okay? Now the major 6/9 arpeggio. Remember that chord? And those, if you analyze where the chord tones were in that chord, you had your 1, 3, 6. You can see that. And then we had the 9. And then the 5 of the chord. So here's those notes on arpeggio. It's basically a pentatonic scale. And let's create a little phrase with it. Okay, moving on to the major 13th. This has all the notes in the scale in a major scale or Lydian scale, which is the scales we're using over this, without the 4th scale degree. Now remember, the 13th is the same thing as the 6th. So you'll see in the actual fingering chart that it's listed as being a 6th. It's the same exact note. All right? So here we go. Here's the arpeggio. And then a little run with it. Now we have a major 7 with the 6th added, so that is going to be spelled 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. And here's that arpeggio real quick. By the way, that's going to be very hard to follow that without the chart, so make sure you download that, and then here's a little run with it. Practice these runs at 8th notes and swing 8ths. And then we get to the major scale for that position. If you remember from your prerequisite studies with the 3-note per string major scales, an E major in that area of the neck is going to be the shape built off the 4th, off of this A. It'll help to be able to plot out where the scale tones work in that, and they're going to line up with the chord tones. So you've probably done most of the work already, and then we have a little run with it. And that is a run that uses the major scale along with chord tones. And then the last one is the Lydian scale, which Lydian, this is in the key of B major. If you think of E Lydian, it's in B major. So the B major scale is off this A sharp, 7th scale degree in B major, and the shape built on the 7th. And then the little phrase. All right. I want you to take this, and now since we have 2 regions, I want you to work on a different exercise too. I want you to come up with, in the first region and the second region, a phrase in the first region, something like this. And analyze what that was. 1, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3. And then play that exact same thing in the next region. Translating to seeing mastering how the fretboard is laid out, how we can play the same notes in different areas. And do that for a few licks a day, and it really starts opening up, you seeing how the guitar is laid out. And then this is a really good exercise since we're doing everything in regions. Just to play a lick in this region, then this region, the same thing in all regions, you really start understanding how the guitar is laid out. Okay? So have fun with these, and keep up with the lessons. They're going to keep coming. So I'll see you guys soon. So please go to guitarlessons365.com and support the site. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye.